All right, everybody, and welcome back to another review. Blerd Lines, Greg here. So, let's talk Mission Impossible. We're on Mission Impossible 7, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Part 1. They actually tell you in this movie is Part 1. This is our third Part 1 movie in the last, 2.5 months? We had Fast 10, which is a Part 1. We have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which is a part one, and now we have this movie, which is a part one. And I'll be in Mission Impossible. I've been a fan since I was 8 when the first one came out, and it's one of those things where the first one was cool. I was too little to truly appreciate it, right? Second one I thought was badass. I'm sorry. Looking back on it now, yeah, it's dumb. But the motorcycle fight, which makes no damn sense, I was all for it. Third one is the one I don't appreciate the most. Not to say it's the worst, because it's not. But it's not the one I appreciate. It wasn't until Tom Cruise took a really long break with it to do other films, and then he went back with the fourth one, Ghost Protocols, where I truly started becoming a fan again. And then you had Rogue Nation after that, and then Fallout, which, in my opinion, before I saw this movie, was my favorite Mission Impossible. So yeah, the hype for me for Dead Reckoning was real. Now, when I went to see this movie, I saw it at a fan event they had. And when I saw it, instead of showing the normal previews that they would show for these movies, they instead, show featurettes, 3 featurettes of the three of the biggest stunts they had in the movie. The uh, desert scene, the train sequence, and of course, the one that I think everybody knows, the motorcycle skydive jump, right? And what makes this movie so freaking awesome, or what makes Tom Cruise so freaking awesome, is the fact that this is a stuntman doing this. This is Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, who is 60 years old, is doing these stunts. He's actually riding a motorcycle off a ramp, off a cliff, and then skydiving, right? He's riding a horse through the desert of Abu Dhabi. That's him doing majority of his stunt work. Even, that was one of the cool things about Fallout was, Tom Cruise running across those buildings and making that jump and breaking his foot, and they kept the scene in the movie. Like, that was to me just, I was in awe after that. Tom Cruise is one of my favorite actors. To me, he's had some stinkers, but he has some hits too. So let's talk about the plot. So the plot of the movie is a little convoluted, but it makes sense when you think about it. Essentially, there's well, it's kind of the same thing with all Mission Impossible movies. There's an object that the good guys, the IMF, want, and that the bad guys want as well. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to give too much of the plot away. But let's say, a key. There's a key that if someone has that key, they have the power to essentially destroy the world. And Tom Cruise's team is trying to get it, but there's also a bad guy who has a past with Tom Cruise's character Ethan Hunt. And it's, a trek across the globe to get this, key. And, over the course, there's also Haley Atwell's character who gets involved, kind of almost by accident into how she plays a part in this, but, she plays a part and she's in it as well. And of course, you have his crew. You have Ving Rhames, who's been there since the first movie playing Luther. You have Simon Pegg, who's been there since the third movie playing Benji. And you have Rebecca Ferguson, who's been there since the fifth movie playing Elsa, right? And that's Ethan Hunt's team. And then you have Haley Atwell's character, who, like I said, she's a thief that gets kind of brought into this world not really knowing what it's about. And of course, some other characters you have Issei Morales, who plays an adversary from Ethan Hunt's past that is after the same thing that they're after. And of course, you have finally probably the next biggest star in the movie, Vanessa Kirby, who returns from Fallout, who plays the White Widow, arms dealer whose mother was in the first movie. So, and then of course you have some other actors in there. The IMF director from the first movie, who has not been seen this entire time, actually shows back up in this movie and plays kind of a pivotal role. And you also have, I was happy to see, Carrie Ells, who you might remember from the Saw movies, or one of my personal favorites, Robin Hood Men in Tights, also plays a role in this. So, it was great seeing him as well. So, let's just jump right into it. Like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, but let's just jump right into pros and cons with this movie. Pro, stunts. Stunts. I mean, I can make every pro be a stunt. But the stunts in this movie are top tier. And what I mean by that is, not only are they executed to perfection in this movie, but they don't feel hokey. They don't feel out of place. They're not there for the sake of being there, at least what it feels like in the movie. It feels like there's a purpose of why this is happening, right? And what I mean by that is, compare it to a movie like Fast 10, which is funny because to me, I like to think Mission Impossible is a smart person's Fast and Furious, right? Or Fast and Furious is Mission Impossible for Dummies. I love both series, don't get me wrong, I do. But there's a lot of thinking, there's a lot of, it doesn't BS this movie. So they both movies had a Rome scene. But it felt like this movie used the Rome scene better than Fast 10 did. The stunts are incredible. A con in the movie for me, first con, the beginning feels rushed. One cool thing about the Mission Impossible movies, one cool thing about the Mission Impossible movies is that you're already having an adventure, and then the movie starts. So it's like you're almost on you're on the last part of a cliffhanger. So like something's already going on. For example, you think about Fast and Furious. Say Fast and Furious again. Sorry, Mission Impossible. Not Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, right? The plane scene. The plane scene opens up the movie, and it's an entirely different mission. Plane scene opens up the movie. The scene in Fallout with them trying to, stop the arms deal. It felt like that, and then there was a mission. These are even the fallout from that mission. Or Ghost Protocol, where it was the other agent, Josh Holloway character. He's going through the mission. First you think it's Ethan Hunt, but it's him, and he's going through a mission that's going to tie in. But this movie, it felt like it was something happened, and then just a bunch of stuff happened, to set up exposition like, hey, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. Go get this, and then we'll start the movie. And I don't know, it felt rushed. It felt like they had an idea for the original, which I kind of heard they did, but they decided not to do it for the opening. And then this is what they went with instead. So, you know, wasn't a fan of that. Pro for the movie. Tom Cruise is incredible. Tom Cruise is incredible. Love the fact that Ving Rhames just has to do these movies and Arby's commercials. He's good for life. My second favorite Ving Rhames roles, by the way, is Luther. You know, Melvin's always going to be number one. Go watch Baby Boy if you don't know who Melvin is. You know, Simon Pegg is great in it, you know. But to me, I really, you know, Haley Atwell was also awesome too, as what she brought to the story. You know, as she's not some highly trained person. She has her own set of skills, but she's not like a super soldier or super assassin. She's good at what she does, and that is it. But she's perfect for it, so that was really good. Khan wasn't digging the villain. And when I say digging the villain, what I mean is not Issei Morales. Honestly, I wish they would have fleshed out his character more to know who he is. Because the truth is, you don't know who he is. You just know from certain flashbacks he has a history with Ethan Hunt. It's all you know. Now, maybe that will get fleshed out in part 2. But he's there. He's always a step ahead of Ethan Hunt. Again, you watch the movie, you'll know why. But I was not a fan of the villain, of the antagonist presence in the movie. And I'm just going to leave it at that. And then my third pro is again, just the realness. You know, I talk about the stunts, but again, the how everything felt real in the movie. And you know, there's going to be a couple other movies where I talk about, you know, realness being a major part in it. And this is no different. I think with this movie, and what this movie always does well, is it makes me feel like I'm on these locations. You know, doesn't feel like, oh, they're on a green screen and they're not really there. It feels like if Tom Cruise is hanging on the side of a mountain, he's hanging on the side of the mountain. You know, they always felt real, and the world is unique, but you know it's there. You can probably go and find it yourself, but it's something you always don't see on film. So I really like that, and I can't give it another con because I can't think of one. This is going to be one of those movies where I can't think of a third con. And the truth is, I saw this movie last week, so I had time to think about this, and I can't think of a con at the moment. Even now, the third one, maybe it ran a little too long, but even in the time that I think the movie's 2 hours and 40 minutes, and I didn't even feel that. Like, I was ready for more. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get my score. Out of, you know, a possible 5 stars, 4.75, 4 3/4. It's that damn good. It's going. I will compile a list of movies starting with Guardians of the Galaxy, so I count Guardians of the Galaxy as the first summer movie, all the way to the end of August, and determine what's my top 5 summer movies. This is going to be in that. You know, right now, I have 3, maybe a possible 4. Depending on what order you watch, there may be a possible 4. But I do know for a fact there are 3 movies that are in my top 3. Or that are in my top 5. And that's Guardians, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Part 1, and Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. So yeah, definitely go see it, and go see it in a theater to really get that experience. Tom Cruise, you outdid yourself again. Thank you so much. With that being said, I'm Greg, signing out for Blerd Lines. Make sure to like and subscribe, and thank you all for your support. And I'll of course be doing more movies. I will do a better job of getting these reviews out quicker. I got busy. Sorry. See you guys later.